Hi, I'm Dr. Heidi Donovan. Welcome to day 1 in a 10-day video series on ways to cope with anxiety and depression during the pandemic. I've received dozens of inquiries asking for natural ways to cope with elevated stress levels during this unprecedented time. And fortunately, there are a number of ways that we can naturally synergize the production of dopamine and serotonin, which are the neurotransmitters responsible for feelings of happiness, peace, and motivation. This is not a substitution for psychopharmacological interventions or psychotherapy. So those of you who are on medication management for clinical depression and anxiety, please continue with that regimen. These tips are really intended for individuals having milder forms of stress and anxiety. So that being said, let's move on to tip number 1, which is setting and accomplishing goals. This applies to both short and long-term goals. Those of you who make to-do lists are cheering right now because you know how great you feel every time you mark through an item on your list. That's because your brain rewards you with a hit of dopamine every time you achieve a goal. I'm going to share with you a brain hack for achieving those more difficult long-term goals. Let's say, for example, you have a long-term goal of writing a book. Break your goal down into small, bite-sized, dopamine-friendly pieces. So, for example, you might make a short-term goal of writing for 15 minutes per day. Your brain will reward you with dopamine, so you'll feel good about your accomplishment. But that dopamine also serves as a motivator to get you to continue working on the short-term goals, which will ultimately lead to the long-term goal of writing your book. So my challenge for you this week is to get out a pad of paper, write down some short and long-term goals, and languish in the bliss that you feel when your brain rewards you with dopamine and serotonin. Wishing your family safety and mental health during this pandemic. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you back tomorrow for tip number 2, non-medicinal ways of coping with anxiety and stress. God bless.